My name is Emma Scott. I'm a physician assistant here at Parker Cornea, and today I'm going to be walking you through how I prepare the CAIRS tissue for our CAIRS surgery in less than 5 minutes. So in months past, when it came to preparing the CAIRS tissue, this process would take me typically about 20 minutes to do, and that's because the tissue comes in this crystallized solution, and I'd have to rinse the CAIRS tissue and then lay it out to dry, and that would take about 20 minutes. Here at Parker Cornea, we're always looking for ways to be more efficient. We do a ton of surgeries on Thursdays, so any way we can speed up the process of flipping each room. Thankfully, a doctor named Dr. Awad came up with this really great way of drying CAIRS tissue quicker, a lot quicker, using a coffee warmer. So funny enough, last year when I hadn't been working here too long, I didn't know Dr. Jack very well yet. I knew he liked coffee, so one of the small presents that I got him was this little coffee warmer from Amazon. Now, he always would tell me that it was like the worst present ever and it was like useless. So, all I have to say to that is look who's laughing now, because we use it every single week for our CAIRS surgery. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through that process right now. Obviously, the coffee warmer is not sterile. So what we've been doing is the tech who is setting up the back table will put the coffee warmer on the back left corner, kind of isolated from everything else that is sterile. And then I will use a glove wrapper and place that on top of the coffee warmer. And then I'll put the CAIRS segment on a second glove wrapper and place that on top of the first. So there's kind of two layers that are dividing the sterile CAIRS tissue from the coffee warmer that's not sterile, obviously. So before I scrub in, I will go ahead and turn on the coffee warmer. The temperature that seems to work the best for what we're going for is 145 degrees. I've tried a few different ones, and hotter than that will cook the segment, kind of shrivel it up. Not that hot, just takes a little longer. So 145 degrees, I'm able to heat up the CAIRS tissue in about 2 minutes. So the beginning part is the same as before. The CAIRS tissue comes in this little plastic jar that I'm just unscrewing. And then I'm going to use some 0.12 forceps to pick up the tissue out of the jar. And then I'm going to rinse it in a little cup of BSS just to kind of get some of that solution off of it that it comes in. Now, one key change here is instead of using a couple wecks to dry out the CAIRS tissue, I'm skipping that step entirely. And I'm basically placing the CAIRS tissue directly onto the metal drying device here. The main thing I'm concerned about is lining it up kind of along with the groove of the drying device. The biggest thing is you don't want to dry the CAIRS tissue to a crisp in a wonky shape that's going to make insertion very difficult. So I'm just making sure it's lined up well. In this particular case, we were using 2 segments, so I'm just doing the same thing again, and then lining it up on the opposite side here along with the groove. And once I'm happy with how they look, basically how you set them on the drying device is how they're going to dry. So I just picked up the glove wrapper, placed it on top of the first glove wrapper. Once I have laid the tissue onto the coffee warmer, I'll typically just stand next to it and kind of monitor how firm it's getting just with my finger. Like I said, it takes around 2 minutes. And then once I'm happy with the firmness of the tissue, I'll just move it over under the microscope and it's ready to be inserted by the doctor. This part's for Dr. Jack, horns up always. And so that is how I prepare the CAIRS tissue for our CAIRS surgery in less than 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.